Adrian and Dr. Peter, thank you for being here. And we are taking these interviews as part of APA 2019. And we have had the good opportunity of meeting you here. And because we were always intrigued about Adisseo. And of course, after Nutriad and Adisseo, Nutriad became a part of Adisseo. That was even more intriguing. So I'll start off first by asking you about what exactly does Adisseo do as a company?
Okay, so thank you. So my name is Adrian Ng. I'm the Regional Director for Asia Pacific, so taking care of the Asian zone. And I think if you look at Adisseo as a company, it's one that has been continuing to invest in feeding the world. A lot of people tend to think that Adisseo is a feed company. We are not. I think we are part of the food chain. And when you look at it, the company has really reinforced its vision on 4 key, I would say, parameters. One is definitely on high quality, feed additives, but also having affordable. And more importantly, the next couple of years will be focusing on safety and sustainability, because this is what will really end up on our table every day. And this is what Adisseo has always been firmly believing. And for sure, the acquisition of Nutriad, this partnership is really going in the direction, especially to strengthen our presence in the swine and aqua sector.
Yeah. Now about Adisseo's acquisition of Nutriad. So what additional tools do you get as part of Adisseo?
Okay. It's an excellent question. I think as part of the organic growth, one of the key reasons Adisseo acquired Nutriad is there is a very big and nice complementary relationship that we can harness and leverage on. If you look at Adisseo's background and history, we are traditionally very strong in poultry sector. We have presence in ruminant, a little bit in swine, not too much in aqua. Okay, and when you look at our range of products, we are in the nutritional space. When you look at amino acids, vitamins, enzymes. Whereas when you shift over to Nutriad, it's totally complementary. There's no overstacking, overlapping of our product range. Nutriad is traditionally very strong in swine, where we have been always trying to get more inroads, and for sure aqua, where the name Nutriad is very well known in the market in this space. So I think that when these two companies comes together, there's a lot more we can harness, especially when you look at the feed industry. It's not just having more quantity, having a cheaper cost, but as people are eating more, how do you find a more sustainable way to produce? And I believe this marriage of these two companies, this integration, will give our customers, especially around the world and also in India, the solutions for the future.
Yep. So what is the acquisition of Nutriad by Adisseo? What does it mean for aquaculture in general?
Okay, I'm Peter COUTTEAU. I'm Global Business Unit Director for Aquaculture, for the Business Unit Aquaculture. So I'm leading a team that is basically responsible for development, marketing and sales of a specialized portfolio for aqua. As Adrian already mentioned, I think one of the strategic synergies that came out of the acquisition of Nutriad by Adisseo was exactly the activity that we have deployed over the past years in Nutriad. So it has been a development since 2011 that we have been focusing on the aquaculture market with a specialized team, with specialized products, and also some specialized research to support these products. The acquisition basically has allowed us to continue our work, and I feel that Adisseo has, during the past years, shown a strong ambition in growing into aquaculture, but I think simply did not have the time or the focus on it yet. It was a matter of time, and I think the acquisition of Nutriad actually accelerated this ambition. So we feel very much supported by the management and the colleagues. We are growing the team. We are growing the portfolio at the moment. So I think this is the acquisition has been a very good news for our customers.
Speaking about the portfolio, do you exclusively focus on the feed ingredient segment, or do you have any products that also go into the farm?
Yeah. So when we talk about aquaculture, and we could even say aquaculture in India, I think our strategy has always been that we are focused on feed factories, feed millers. I would say that is the core of our business, and our focus there is really bringing feed additives to the feed millers. This type of feed additives is quite a broad range of portfolio, especially nowadays that we also add the products of Adisseo, which also are of interest, of course, for fish and shrimp feed. However, in India, there is also a certain segment of the farm products that actually use our ingredients or feed additives as an ingredient for the farm products. Yeah. Although we are not planning really to be active at the level of the end user, we may supply some ingredients to this sector, which is quite an important sector in India. Yeah.
So, speaking about feed formulations, does the 80-20 rule apply to feed formulations? That is there a 20% of ingredients that could actually cause an 80% shift in the productivity when the feed is used?
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything?
I think that's a very interesting question, because I would say that in a feed formulation, probably it's not an 80-20, but a 99-1 or a 95-5% rule. In that sense, is that all the formula is important. So the quality of every single ingredient is important, and that. But nowadays, we see that there is a very strong trend that ingredients need to be supplemented with additives. That is a trend that has started way earlier in poultry, where there's nobody formulating a chicken feed without methionine, for example. Now in aquaculture, I can tell you, until a few years ago, there was plenty of feed formulated without additional amino acids. So I think aquaculture formulation is in a revolution time. We are changing the formulations very fast now. We do that based on scientific research, but very much more than in poultry on very pragmatic research in the field, applied research in the field. People have to change the formulations because raw material availability is changing. India, for example, by times has an acute shortage on marine ingredients like fish meal and fish oil. What do you do then as a formulator? You need to have alternatives. So the number of ingredients, alternative ingredients, is increasing in aquaculture, but also the number of corrections that we can do on the formulation. And corrections, we talk here about nutritional additives, typically methionine or other really nutrients, but also functional additives. So these are additives that basically try to compensate the functionality of a feed in terms of digestibility, palatability, gut retention time, but maybe also gut health. So there is a whole range of feed additives today, and we can say more or less that the trend is that we basically need to make a feed better based on that maybe 1 to 5% of functional properties that we add to the feed.
So compared to the baseline, you say that it is the additives that are going to be very important for the feed, for its performance. Again. What are the avoidable problems that you see in feed formulation today?
In aqua feed formulation, we can say that across the species nowadays, we are in times of price pressure. I don't need to explain to you that this is the case in India, where shrimp prices, while global shrimp prices are low, but the same is true lately in tilapia, throughout the world, in marine fish in the Mediterranean. So throughout aquaculture, I would say today we have two major focus points. That is, number one, cost efficiency of the feed, no doubt. And number two, health. There is no doubt that in aquaculture, throughout the different species, diseases is a key problem. Again, take the example of India. You are very unfortunate, but this year you have both the price crisis, the pressure on the shrimp price, and thus on the cost efficiency of the feed. But also you have still an issue on diseases, namely white fishes syndrome, that is also continues to be a problem. Now, how do we solve these two issues? I think, first of all, cost efficiency of the feed. Very much we need to use the nutrients in the feed to the maximum. we cannot afford anymore in aquaculture to over-formulate and be happy with that. We need to really do precise formulations. And again, certain products are going to help in that. Where there are products that increase the digestibility of the nutrients. So all the nutrients go to, with the fishes, to the pond bottom and cause organic matter, a problem for shrimp farming, or we actually manage to improve that digestion and use them for growth. So it's a double win. And there are a number of additives there that Adisseo is able to provide. And we are talking about specialized feed emulsifiers to improve fat digestion, enzymes to improve non-starch polysaccharides, which otherwise end up as organic matter in the pond. So there are a number of options there. That's with regard to cost efficiency. I think with regard to health, that is a way complex, more complex area. There are many different types of diseases in aquaculture. We have viruses, we have bacteria such as vibriosis, we have parasites such like EHP. So there is a whole range, a whole zoo of diseases there. And we are working on that by two ways. First of all is improving management. That's basically the work of the farmer. But second also, we are working through the feed on disease prevention by, again, creating functional feeds that can basically help the immunity of the shrimp or make the parasite, the conditions for the parasite development or the bacterial development less favorable. So I think in there is a good way of future.
How is the research and feed formulation progressing year on year? What are the most exciting developments in this area?
All right, yeah. Well, I can tell you that Adrian may disagree on that, but aquaculture continues to be a very exciting area for innovation. In aquaculture, we are facing really acute problems on availability of certain raw materials. As you know, fish meal, fish oil is really in a bottleneck situation. Aquaculture growing very fast, but these resources is at least the sustainable part of that resource is really limited. So we are seeing very exciting developments there, both on the level of the protein part as well as the level of the lipid part. When you look at proteins, there are very interesting alternative vegetable proteins, but the real exciting issues are the insect proteins that are coming up, the microbial proteins. So there are really from scratch, totally new proteins that are mainly targeting aquaculture species and aquaculture feeds. That's a very exciting area. Apart from that, replacing fish oil is becoming a target for basically two directions of promising developments. That is, number one, microalgae. There are plants under construction today that are going to provide alternative sources of long-chain omega-3. That is a reality. And another one is GMO plant crops, which are also going to provide vegetable sources of long-chain omega-3. So we will no longer depend on the ocean to provide this type of essential fats.
So yes, now about Adisseo. Adisseo in the next 3 years. What are the new exciting things that are going to come from Adisseo?
So Adisseo is a company that has been growing and will be growing in the next couple of years. So first of all, when you look at the business, I can say that the acquisition of the Nutriad is really in that direction to have organic growth, to penetrate new sectors, new species. And more importantly, I think we want to bring value to the clients. When you look in terms of, amino acid balancing today, I think this is one area when you want to move away from alternative protein sources. And this is one area that Adisseo, we believe we are a leader in the amino acid of methionine. And therefore, the company has invested almost $500 million to have a new capacity in Nanjing, which will be ready in the mid-2021. So in very soon, next couple of years. And that is really to cater for the growth of the two key species where we feel that, there's going to be a lot of potential for the future in the meat protein world, which is poultry, which you have chicken meat, broiler, but also eggs, and also in aqua where we feel there's a lot of potential. And of course, when you look at the product portfolio of Adisseo, we have also expanded to give our clients a lot more, I'd say, offer, a lot more solution, a lot more different, I would say, possibilities to tackle different areas like Peter have mentioned, whether it's for digestion, for palatability, or for functional to improve stress, etc. There's a long range of product that we want to continue to invest. Adisseo also continue to put a lot of resource on R&D, where we are a very proud, I think, company that we invest almost close to 10% of our workforce, in R&D. And in the last 12 years, we have invested, more than $1.5 billion in R&D, including having new products, new formulas, expanding of our capacity. So this is something that we really value as a company. We have more than 600 active patents in this industry. So we want to continue to go in that arena to be able to bring the value and grow together with our clients. Again, we will go back into the area of how can we fit the world more with less. I think this is key, to be more sustainable, to be also safe. Yeah, while we also look at, the economics of having, good food.
I thank you, Adrian and Dr. Peter. Thank you for being here and spending time with us and sharing about Adisseo with our readers and viewers. Thank you so much. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.